What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video. Or in this one, have some updates for you. Some things that I missed. I don't know how I didn't get an update for it. I have Twitter notifications on for the Colts. At some point, I missed it. Might have swiped it away on accident. Who knows? But there are a couple of injury updates of note. First of all, Braden Smith is in the concussion protocol. Jalen Travis is going to be coming in and playing for him. He did in the last game, and he's a rookie, but somebody that has a lot of promise, somebody that I think probably going to take over that role anyways at right tackle. Once this year's over, we go into 2026, it'll probably be Jalen Travis if I had to guess. So he's going to be playing in this next game. Think that'll be fine, right? He's a big dude. I think he's fine at tackle. He's a rookie, and it's going to be a tough game. We have Seattle coming up. They have a good defense, a good defensive front, so he's going to have his hands full. And so I don't assume it's going to be perfect by any means, but I know there was a clip out there of Jalen Travis where, he initially got beat but had an incredible recovery, especially for his size. The recovery that he had and the block he was able to make, just the skill set is there, and it has been him coming out of college. I thought it was a good draft pick when you're looking towards the future. Inevitably replacing Braden Smith when his contract runs out. I thought it was a good draft pick, and he has the talent to be able to do it. He's been able to see how the offense operates. He's been able to see how guys that are in the league are working it and being able to be around these guys, Quentin Nelson, Braden Smith, Bernard Raymond, being able to be around these guys and understand, the things that they do to have success and how to prepare and whatnot. So feel good about Jalen Travis. And then another one that I did not like seeing, Charvarius Ward is back in the concussion protocol, his third concussion of the season, right? Got a concussion, I believe, in the Miami game it was. And then, of course, the pregame running into Andrew Ogletree and then being put on IR. So it'll be interesting to see, does he go back on IR? And honestly, this is going to raise questions with 3 concussions in a single year. Alec Pierce has a couple concussions this season, I believe. Alec Pierce also in the concussion protocol, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure he was held out of the last game for that. But nonetheless, we do have Charvarius Ward, third concussion of the season, so not great. Will he be put back on IR? If he is, has he played his last game? Right? Will he start wearing a Guardian cap? Would be probably the next best thing if he is going to come back and play. Should probably have a Guardian cap on. For as goofy as it looks, I do think it's probably the right move. And, Alec Pierce, probably the same thing, honestly. A couple concussions in a season, probably the right move. Put the Guardian cap on and see if that'll help you at all. But Braden Smith and Charvarius Ward in the concussion protocol is the news that happened. But the news of the day that happened later in the day, saw this news right around 7, 8 o'clock, something like that last night, where we are being saved, maybe. Uncle Phil potentially coming back to the Colts. Supposed to have a workout with the Colts. Riley Leonard also, in terms of injury news, Riley Leonard is listed as week to week with a knee injury. So Brett Ripien would be the quarterback to start. Then we would have to go get somebody. Who would that be? Who knows? If Uncle Phil comes back and is able to suit up for the Colts. Now, would he suit up this Sunday? Probably unlikely, right? But, if anybody could, it could be Phil, right? He's worked with a lot of these guys before. They could help him out, right? Jonathan Taylor, he was here when Jonathan Taylor was a rookie. Jonathan Taylor could help him out. Quentin Nelson could help him out. Michael Pittman Jr., who he has familiarity with, could help him out. And so I just think Phillip Rivers coming in, just turned 44 yesterday, right? Hasn't played since he was with us in 2020, 2021, right? When we lost the playoff game in Buffalo. That was the last NFL game he played. He is, potentially going into the Hall of Fame this year. And I think that would reset things if he comes back and plays. It would reset his 5-year counter, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But nonetheless, you got to assume with the situation that we're in, there's no telling when AR is going to be ready to come back from the orbital fracture. That's a serious injury. Re-injury, I would assume pretty high on that if it's not fully healed, especially in the game of football and the way he plays. So I would just assume AR still going to take a minute to come back. So Phillip Rivers, come save the day, brother. Come save the day. A guy that's had, it's not like he can still throw, 40, 50, 60, or, 50, 60 yards down the field. But even when he was with us, being able to throw down the field at different times, far enough. And there, he's worked with Riley Leonard before. Riley Leonard in John Gruden's QB camp over the summer talked about how he lives close to Phillip Rivers. He's trained with Phillip Rivers before. They're familiar with each other, so that would be promising. If anything, bringing him in to be around Riley Leonard. With DJ out for the rest of the year, he's going to have to start rehabbing and whatnot. So who knows how much he's really going to be around. So bring Phillip Rivers in, see what he can do. Right, if Riley Leonard especially is going to be out, can Phillip Rivers come in, and even if we lose to Seattle, can you bring Phillip Rivers in to do enough? Right? That's really all we needed from Daniel Jones all year. That's what Daniel Jones was doing earlier in the year, was just doing enough. Right? Jonathan Taylor was carrying, but Daniel Jones was playing well, not turning the ball over. Right? That's all you would need a quarterback to come in and do, is just complete passes, get balls in the hands of the playmakers. And Phillip Rivers, been around the league a long time. You know what he is. Right? He's a guy that he's, especially at 44 years old, not going to come in and probably light it up all the time, but he can make the plays necessary. And he played with Antonio Gates. Who do we have? We have Tyler Warren, right? Very versatile tight end. Somebody like, if you bring Phillip Rivers in, Tyler Warren, all of a sudden his value shoots all the way back up, right? Michael Pittman Jr., his value goes up, right? Alec Pierce can do a lot of things, so his value probably goes up. Josh Downs' value from the slot probably goes up. And then you still have the threat of Jonathan Taylor. So I think bringing Phillip Rivers in, a move that I'm excited about. I know a lot of Colts fans love Uncle Phil, right? The year that we had with him and being able to get to the playoffs is the last time we were in the playoffs. Of course, we lost to Jacksonville that year in Jacksonville. That was Jacksonville's only win that season. But so, and of course, losing to Jacksonville fresh on the mind. But nonetheless, with the prospect of bringing Phillip Rivers in, with the time that he's had to, right, anything that could have possibly been going on with his body, with his shoulder, like, he's had plenty of time. Obviously, getting into football shape is a different animal than what he's been living. He's been coaching, I believe, high school football. So, of course, it's a different animal. But Phillip Rivers can read defenses. Phillip Rivers can make the throws that you need him to make to just be able to move the ball while you have Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. So, really like the idea of bringing Phillip Rivers in, something I'm very excited about. I hope we end up signing him. I hope he wants to come back. And I saw something, it's just a workout, and he's going to have to decide whether he wants to or not. But then I saw another post that said, Phillip Rivers, is trying to make an NFL comeback. And so we'll see if that happens, right? A team that can contend. This team has a lot of talent. There are injuries, especially on defense. Probably three best players on the defensive side: DeForest Buckner, Charvarius Ward, Sauce Gardner. None of those guys going to be playing here in Week 15. But beyond that, right, if you're able to get Sauce Gardner, and, even if Charvarius Ward only misses 1 week, right, then are you able to get all three guys back in Week 16? You get Phillip Rivers against San Francisco on Monday Night Football. Phillip Rivers making his return on Monday Night Football would be crazy. And so I'm hopeful. Brings a little spark of hope, right? When everything seems lost. Our video yesterday was just depressing. It was depressing making that video. A very depressing undertone, I know. All hope seeming lost, but this gives me a little twinkle of hope. Bringing Phillip Rivers in, what can he do? Right, a guy that's essentially a Hall of Fame finalist, right? Guy that's definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame at some point in his life. And so I think bringing him in would be good for us. The camaraderie, you got to assume him walking into that locker room, walking into the facility, people seeing him, they're going to love every bit of that. The guys that he played with, because a lot of the 2020 team, a lot of those guys are still here, right? Those guys seeing Uncle Phil walk in, dude, they're going to go crazy. They're going to love it. It's going to bring that joy back, right? We've lost 4 out of 5, but it's going to bring that joy back, or what, 3 out of 4, whatever the case, 4 out of 5, and that joy is going to get sparked, and that spark could carry us into being able, right, getting that confidence back. Hey, we got Phil. We're going to rally around him. We know he's got to catch up on this offense, but we can rally around him. So I'm hopeful going forward, and of course, going to get you guys news as soon as possibly can. My work schedule today is, I'm essentially working all day, then going from work to the gym. So this is probably the only video for today. That's why I wanted to fit in the injury news and the Uncle Phil stuff. But I'm going to get news to you guys as soon as I possibly can. I'm working a lot this week. I work 6 days. I have like 3 full days this week. So not going to be able to get as much content as I'd like to. But with that said, things could be changing. Something on the horizon. Things could be changing. Could be making more money. Could be working better hours. Not on weekends. Things are in the works. So stay tuned. We're going to continue to have content. We're going to continue to have hope, because that's who I am. You could say it's my toxic trait. Eternally optimistic. Even when I shouldn't be. Eternally optimistic. That things are going to work out somehow, some way. And I'm hopeful, man. And excited. Hopefully Phillip Rivers comes back, puts the horseshoe on again with a team that can go. And hopefully we're able to make something happen as we go down the stretch here. So you guys let me know your thoughts on all this, between the injuries, between Uncle Phil coming back. Would love to hear what you guys are thinking about all this. How do you feel about all this as we go forward into these last 4 games, right? The last month of the season. What do you think about it all? You let me know down in the comment section. Of course, if you enjoy the content, please make sure hit that like button, be subscribed with notifications on so you get notified anytime we drop any content on this channel. YouTube loves engagement. We are getting so close to 3,000 subscribers, man. We're almost there. Help us get there. We are so close. And of course, as always, I appreciate you stopping by for another video. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.